You have to understand that self love is a really, really critical component to self growth and overall just happiness and success in life. It becomes an issue when we don't love ourselves enough to let go. And letting go, especially, applies to people, toxic people, negative people, or it can just be people that are not in alignment with you. It doesn't always have to be toxic or negative. It doesn't always have to be like a messy breakup. It always doesn't have to be about somebody backstabbing you. Sometimes it can just be about the fact that maybe, friend X, Y, and Z has decided to be a coach for a basketball team versus you want to be an entrepreneur. You want to be a business owner. Or maybe, you're going to university for engineering and your friend is going to college for arts. I don't know. Point I'm trying to make is that it doesn't always have to be like toxic per se. It becomes a problem when we don't allow ourselves to let go of these people, when we keep dwelling on these people. It becomes even more problematic when we actually allow these people to stay in our lives or when we keep giving second chances, even though there's so many red flags. How many times have you guys been in a situation where you constantly allow them to disrespect you? You constantly allow them to make mistakes. You constantly allow them to come apologize and say one thing and then act completely different. That is not self respect. That is actually respecting yourself at a really, really minute, low level. And what that does is that it reflects that to the other person regardless. So when you continuously try to keep these other people in your life and not let go, it just lowers your value even more to them. And they're actually going to treat you even worse than how they've already been treating you, which only gets you in a toxic, messed up cycle. And for some of you guys may be experiencing like a really, really bad end to a relationship or a friendship, and you're probably waiting for closure. I can't tell you how many times I've been here. Guess what? Sometimes the disrespect, the lack of communication, the constant acting of a way that you told them is not really comfortable for you is the closure. Sometimes you have to normalize like not needing a last conversation or not needing a last meeting. And this can be tough psychologically, but that can give you so much freedom because you can be stuck in the cycle, literally waiting for closure. You also are going to allow them back into your life continuously because most of the time, when it comes to like toxic relationships or toxic friendships, you might start off the conversation making it about you want closure, but before you know it, it turns toxic and they find a way to just stay in your life. I believe that negative, toxic people are like leeches. They just suck the life out of you. And until you get them off of you, they will keep doing the same thing over and over and over again because that's their nature. Unfortunately, not all people are like this. So, right now, if you've been ghosted for 2 months or they haven't texted you back in like weeks, that could be the closure right there. And you're going to have to come to peace with it. Because the more and more you chase that closure, the more and more you're not going to get it anyway. And at the end of the day, you're just harming yourself, right? You're going to start feeling anxious and depressed, and you're going to start feeling like, fuck, I feel so shitty because this person hasn't like texted me back. And then you're waiting and waiting and waiting, and you're just thinking about them over and over and over again. And you have to understand, imagine how many other aspects of your life you're also affecting. This could be the time when you're just going to get promoted at a job. This could be the time when you're finally going to get that 95 average to get into university. But because you're focusing on this person not giving you closure, you might miss out on that. Do you think that person cares? Absolutely not. You're going to be the one that's going to be on the other end being like, oh, fuck, I wish I didn't pay attention to that person at that time. You have to love yourself enough to make that boundary and be like, yo, it's over. You have to love yourself enough to let go of these people. You have to. And sometimes there could be signs along the way, and you have to be mature enough to let them go even before it gets to that point. And I get it. I was in your same situation where I used to like wait for like the worst case scenario to happen, but you can obviously cut them off way before that too, because sometimes you have signs before that. Because sometimes it could be like a friend who really vibes with you and they tell you one thing, and next thing you know, they're hanging out with the same people that you said you don't like. Or it could be like a family member. It could be like a cousin that told you, like, yeah, I really vibe with you. And next thing you know, they're like talking about you behind your back. And you know it's best not to be talking to them, but you continuously talk to them. You have to love yourself enough to let go of that. And the problem is, right, is that we are humans of habit. We are creatures of daily routine. And sometimes people can become so ingrained in us that we don't want to let go. And the problem is that if you're just doing the same thing and you're the same person as you were yesterday, you're not growing. A big part of growth is letting go, right? You have to shed the old skin to have the new one. A caterpillar, it completely sheds who it is and then it becomes a butterfly. But there's also a period where it literally rests for a bit and understand it's okay, it's normal. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to take practice. You're going to feel like, this is not really comfortable for me. I feel extra tired. I feel fatigued. I feel irritable. Because that is a process from going to a caterpillar to a butterfly. There's going to be that middle stage where you're a cocoon, where you're just like resting right? You're regenerating yourself. But you have to love yourself enough to do these things. Because if you don't love yourself enough and you let these toxic people or these people that are not in alignment with you stay, you're going to be living their lives, not your own. And I've seen this happen to so many people where because people weren't able to let go, they ruined so many opportunities for them. They prevented success, they prevented health, they prevented wealth because they weren't willing to let go. So you have to love yourself enough to let go and understand it's going to be a journey, it's going to be a process. But at the end of the day, it's going to feel uncomfortable because you're not used to it. And this also means as you grow and grow and grow and grow, you might have to keep cutting off people, and it's okay to. And don't feel like ashamed. Don't feel weird. Don't feel like, you're extra. You're absolutely not. Because every single person that's in your life has to be handled differently. There may be some people that you just have to block because they're so toxic. Then there's other people that you can just have like a good conversation with. And then there's other people that, he's at the cold turkey it. You can't even see them or think about them. Right? There's some people that are so toxic, even just energetically, you don't even want to be around them in their presence. You don't want to even run into them because you know that's just going to bring you down. And that's okay. It's normal. Allow yourself to love yourself, to set those boundaries. Allow yourself to love yourself, to prioritize yourself. And understand that you should always prioritize other people that are in alignment with where you want to be. If you want to experience true self growth and you want to become a millionaire, you better surround yourself with people that are also in that alignment. You don't want to surround yourself with people that are drinking on the weekends. You don't want to surround yourself with people that say one thing but then act completely different. Yeah, man, I'm going to be healthy and I'm going to go to the gym. And next thing you know, they're like bringing chips in front of you every time you chill with them. Or they bring like pop in front of you. Or, you don't want to be around that person that's like, yeah, man, I'm starting my grind and I'm going to like wake up at 6, cold showers, and I'm going to do like multiple businesses. And then before you know it, they're asking you to come smoke some weed on the weekend. That is not in alignment. Alignment is huge and that's a whole different video, but it's part of this topic because if you don't love yourself enough to let go, you are literally closing yourself off from meeting people that are in alignment with you that could actually be beneficial, that could actually be helpful, therapeutic. Nothing is better than running into people that are in alignment with your purpose, with where you want to be. And nothing is more tiring and exhausting than carrying dead weight. And I hate to refer to these other people in your life as dead weight, but sometimes that's what it is. I'm just calling it for what it is. There are people that just are dead weight. They have no aims in life, no purpose, and they try to bring that energy to you. And you might try to convince them to work hard. You might try to convince them to open their minds. But guess what? You can't change them. You have to understand that you have to stop trying to control the things you can't control and start trying to control the things that you can. You can control self love, self respect, self worth. You can't control how other people love you. You can't control what other people want in their life. You can't control other people's laziness. You can't control other people's ambition, purpose. And most of all, you can't change people. Remember that. You can change yourself. So love yourself enough to allow yourself to experience the life you actually want to experience by letting go of the people that don't need to be in your life and allowing the people that should be in your life to be there. Because sometimes we can be so destructive that we purposely push away the people that should be in our life and we allow the toxic people to stay in our lives. I've been there myself. Let's stop doing that. Let's actually start letting go of people that we don't need in our life. And this could also mean, letting go of experiences and things too that we experience currently that are not in alignment with where we want to be. Maybe going to the club every weekend is not in alignment with your purpose. Maybe it is. I don't know. But at the end of the day, love yourself enough to let go of what you don't need. Let go of the things that don't benefit you for where you want to go to. And I promise you that you are going to feel so much more peace and so much more in alignment with your higher self, which is eventually where you want to be. You want to be in alignment with your higher self because your higher self already knows what you want. Your higher self already knows the next steps in your life. Your higher self understands what it's going to require for you to completely change your life. So don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys in future videos.